This title of this video is My Little Corner of the World, video number 1 in this series. Such a pretty morning down here. I just thought I'd just take a little, give you a little tour of what my little corner of the world is all about. First of all, look at this little Rosa Sharon bush trying to make it under the most unlikely circumstances, right? I think in Japanese they call it haiku, you know, like a little flower growing out of a crack in the rock. And look at this little guy right here. He's so inspiring. When I ride by my bicycle, I think, well, if he can make it, maybe I can too. Now I want to tell you about that little yellow house right there across the street. Of course, you remember Van Gogh lived in a yellow house down there in Arles. But that little house right there used to belong to Joel and Karen McGraw. And right across the street, we'll swing right over. You see where all those flowers are? There was an old man that lived in that house right there, and Joel and Karen, they invited him to come up to the Clifton Church of Christ. Well, when the old man lived down the street passed on, he left his house to the Clifton Church of Christ. You can't quite see it from here, but right there where that big tall chimney is, right past that, up there in Berkshire Line, that's where the Clifton Church of Christ is. Well, anyway, he left the building to the church, and one of the deacons bought it, and he was going to fix it up and decided it wasn't for him. Well, he couldn't sell it because it was a kind of a place where couldn't get a FHA loan on it, so a poor man couldn't afford it and a rich man wouldn't want it, you know. Well, so it turned out I was up at the church with visitation one night. I was playing my problem to Gaston Cogdell. And I went out with him a lot on visitation. He says, I might have a solution here. So Gaston brought me down here, and this is what well, it didn't quite look like this with all the pretty flowers and everything, but I said, Gaston, that's perfect, you know, and that's the best thing ever happened to me from a Tuesday night visitation, you know, going out. I ended up with this. This has turned into my engineering lab. Of course, I love to do research and advertising signs, church advertising. I had some signs where those yellow places are, but I made them out of some of that clear plastic, and of course, eventually the plastic went, you know, it got brittle and cracked. So that's what got me into this tar paper promotion sign experiment, and that tar paper works beautiful. I ought to do a video about it, but it just lasts forever. There's another one of my signs. You can check that out, All Lives Matter, you know. There. Another close-up of one of my signs right there on YouTube, on Lightning Rod PBN. See these signs? This is part of my civic betterment project, and look at that little sign up there. I just gave him a haircut. Those vines got down, you couldn't even read the sign, but now you can read the sign now. So there's my engineering lab right there. And of course my thing is state-of-the-art gospel outreach and systematic Bible study. And this little church house on the corner, and one morning I was out there and the preacher came and said, we'd like to invite you to come to church. And I thought, boy, and I was looking for a church. I said, boy, close to home, this would be it. 2 houses down. So I started coming down there for just, you know, and well, the guy that owns the building found out that I was going down there, and turns out he's a black racist. And yeah, the street, you know, it's a two-way street. Racism is a two-way street. He said, you're not going to have any white folks into my building down there. So, well, that's what happened there. I don't know why they call it true unity right there, because that sure isn't what goes on in that building. I can tell you if that's a fact. Well, I don't know if any of you old-timers remember that song by Mac Davis about Stop and Smell the Roses. Well, we ain't got any roses around here, but we sure got plenty of Rosa Sharons, and we got some little morning glories. There's a little morning glory. We hadn't had too many this year, but at least there's one trying to make something out of it. Here's some more little morning glories. Those little purple ones right there. If you look at some of my other videos on there, this right here, this was all totally covered with morning glories. I don't know why they didn't do that good this year, but you know, got a few of them anyway. Here we are, my faithful four-wheel companion here. Seek Jesus, find hope, the spirit of Cincy. See that down there, don't you? Yeah, it's an oldie but a goodie. Now you notice on the back window, right there over on the driver's side, you see it says YouTube lightning rod stuff. And then right over here on the side window, I got another one here. Now this is what I've been trying to get people to see the value of. Think of it, 2 consecutive Sundays at New Year's, right when everybody's getting ready for the vacation season, right in the fall, print the church bulletin on yellow paper, bright fluorescent yellow paper, and hang a roll of Scotch tape out there by the door going out, and you can turn your car into a billboard for Jesus, and it wouldn't cost anything. Just recycled paper, just on the back side of the bulletin, print YouTube, and then a channel, and then well, that project I'm working on now, Save the USA. There's another shot of the good old Spirit of Cincy right here. Gospel Advertising Ministry. And we did this paint job on here in 1998. Now, right across the street, right over there where that truck is parked, I used to have a neighbor there. We called him Tinkerin' Tom. That was his man cave, and right there on that, he made all kinds of wrought iron stuff. You can see that gate right there that he made. And I'll show you some other stuff he made right here. By the way, his name was Tom Winterhalter, and he had a machine shop over there on Dane Street. And unfortunately passed on from asbestos because he used to install boilers. And you see this one right here, this little whirligig. And if you look real careful, you can see that's a hammer when it goes up and down, banging and banging on that anvil. And that's the way Tom was. He was always working, always building. The hottest day, being in there banging, bang. If we give it a spin right there, you can see that hammer going up and down, up and down. That's the way Tom was. He's a good old German. They're always building something, doing something. This little flower was one of his first attempts, and he wasn't very happy with it at all. And he about ready to throw it in the junk pile. He thought, he said, I'll never make it as a black. I said, well, Tom, I'll take it. And so I put some paint on it there. I think it looks pretty good myself. But that was one of his first attempts at blacksmith. Now you take a look here in my backyard, you see down both sides going back there's about a dozen of those Ertl model combines. You see right, that's when I had wow-1.com, and they were about a 16th scale, and I bought them, you know, they were broken and stuff, otherwise they'd been expensive. I bought them for lawn art. Well, if you look, you can see them all the way down the line, right here on this side right here, on the bike shed there, and all the way down this side. I guess going to the bike shed every day, I pass more combines than if I lived in the state of Nebraska. That used to be bright and shiny, you know. You can see it says www.wow-1.com. That's how long these have been out here. But I'm the possibility thinker, and I'm willing to believe that there, you know, that'd be the greatest invention of all time, as a YouTube channel that harvests souls like a combine is used to harvest wheat. I believe it can be done, and I'm looking for some people, some possibility thinkers that would like to work with me on the project. And I'll say more about it on that other video, about some ideas I've got. But there it is right there. Soul combine. You know, I believe that'd be the greatest invention of the century. You know, a YouTube channel that harvests souls like a combine harvests wheat or corn or soybeans. Coming pretty close to the end here. This huge thing right here was a mobile billboard I had mounted on top of the car. And the signs, in order to prevent a problem with the crosswind, I had these little signs that mount on here, so they'd flop from side to side, so you didn't have a problem with the crosswind. Of course, when there's flapping in the breeze, people think about to fall apart, and it even worked better, get people's attention. And this is one of the signs that was on it. It's a little dark back here, but I have it there to inspire me. It says, "Dare to think big." And that's one of my little John Deere inspired guard turtles. Guarding the bike shed. But, well, that's pretty much what's going on around here. But I'm looking for some people, some movers, shakers, some possibility thinkers. And, well, if you'd be interested in being, you know, some state-of-the-art gospel outreach and systematic Bible study, I'd appreciate if you let me know. Well, if you look on my YouTube channel, Lightning Rod PBN, I've got a video, Spirit of Cincy art card, and you can see what the Spirit of Cincy looks like when it's out there in the sun. You can hear it, see it. Right there, YouTube, Lightning Rod PBN. Well, so much for my little corner of the world for right now, but I may have some more to say, and if I do, it'll be, instead of -1, it'll be -2 and so forth.